Happy Pride Month. For some reason, I don't have a pride flag at my house. The last one I had, I used for Pride Festival in Birmingham last year in 2019, and it started to get a bit frayed. And as well, when I last saw my ultimate favourite band Paris in concert in France, there's a song called Holy, and people throw pride flags on stage sometimes so that they can put it on the mic stand or something like that for the song. So I did that, like I threw it, and then after that I didn't get it back, but it was fine because the pride flag was getting really old anyway, like it was starting to rip. I just haven't got a new one. But anyway, I got my pride t-shirt on. I'm not filming in a field because that's what I've been doing for most of the lockdown, kind of, filming in a field, because usually I'm too stir crazy. But anyway, this is an LGBT related Q&A, question and answer session, and I asked you guys on Instagram and on Facebook if you guys had any questions for me, and there was quite a few. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. Jade Marie asks, what was the defining moment for you to know you weren't straight? Pretty good question. There was quite a few, but the problem is it took me so long for me to accept myself because other people were homophobic and disapproving of it. And when I was younger, I just didn't have that fire that I have now to kind of stand up for myself and all of that. But anyway, so there was one instance where I was about probably, gosh, what age? Young. Probably about, what? 8 or 9? And I was in the car in my hometown, and obviously I think my mum or dad were driving, can't remember which one. And I remember just having this random thought, thinking, girls are so beautiful, so strikingly pretty, so nice and gorgeous to look at, and then there are men. Basically, there was that one. And as well, when I was about 11, I used to, I don't know why, but I was at school and I was literally just walking through the hallway thinking to myself, I wish that I would get some kind of condition so that I couldn't have children, so that men can't impregnate me. Like, I know that's a bit freaky, but yeah, stuff like that. And I look back on it and I'm just like, how did I not realise that I'm a lesbian? Like, all these things. And even, I know this is quite a personal example, but I once got with a guy when I was about 20? Yeah, I was 20. And this guy had a girl I had a crush on his Facebook friends list, and I didn't. And after I'd finished doing stuff with this guy, I was like, oh, let me see pictures of this girl I liked that he had on Facebook. And I was literally just sat there with him, you know, looking at these pictures of this girl. And the guy was just like, okay, well, I'd best be going now. So, there's that. And as well, the last time I tried to have a boyfriend was when I was 20. I'm trying to think. Yeah, 20. And this guy confided in me and he says to me, just so you know, my body doesn't produce much testosterone, so I have to have some medication from the doctor. I was like, okay. And I said to him, were you assigned male at birth? And he says, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, so you're not trans? He was like, no. I was like, okay. And it literally was a cisgendered guy that had a lack of testosterone in his body. And I was like, oh my god. And basically that. And as well, we went out for dinner and we both met up, and I was wearing a shirt and trousers and he was wearing a shirt and trousers. And he wanted me to be really girly, and that is not me. And after that, I just, no. And that's when I made myself come out as gay, because I was like, right, I'm going to face up to it now. I'm gay. And I was just like, I'm going to have to come out to people. And I came out to my friends, my family, as many people as I pretty much could. And whatever criticism they said to me, like, oh, try and like men again, try and be with a man again. No, I wasn't going to listen to it this time. So, that brings me on to the next question. Josh Tarbit asks, this one might sound weird. It doesn't sound weird at all. But has anyone tried persuading you or a friend to become heterosexual? Yeah. People say to me all these things like, oh, you just haven't found the right guy yet, and all these things. That is so not true. Like, when I was about 16, 17, I had a boyfriend, and he was so nice to me, and I really wasn't nice to him. And I've apologised to him that many times, and yes, he's forgiven me, and he knows how sorry I am. And me and him are still friends, and we still talk fairly often, I'd say at least once a month. I'll ask him how he is, how his job is going, how things are going in his life. He asks me the same. And he's just there for me, you know. Like, whenever I have a math problem, like, he's really good at maths. So whenever I have a problem with maths, I'm like, what is this divided by this, take away this, add this, and convert this to that, and he just does it, and he's amazing. But yeah, I had a really nice boyfriend when I was 16, 17, which means that this whole, oh, you haven't found the right guy yet, isn't true, because I found a really nice guy, but he loved me so much, and I loved him, but it didn't go as deep as the love I feel for women. Put it that way. And I didn't even have any proper attraction either, so, you know. But yeah, people do make comments, and people say, oh, I could turn you straight, and they wink at me. It's not possible. It's really not. Yeah, so on to the next question. Hannah asks, have you ever experienced homophobia in public? Yeah, I mean, at school, it was really bad, really bad. People would call me these, you know, the stereotypical slang terms, the negative slang terms for a lesbian or gay, something like that. They would call me those horrible names mixed with swear words, to put it lightly. And another really bad kind of story, which I'm going to get to in the next question, but bear with. So, as well, when I was in a relationship with Megan, we could not go out on weekends, like to a shopping centre, to restaurants, public places, like on weekends in particular, because I remember me and her were sat in Bella Italia, the restaurant, and we were sat here, and then next to us was like a party of like, what, 18, 20 people maybe? And there was a little kid that would like stare at us. And the guy next to him, I assume it was his dad, but he would look at us in disgust like this. Like that, like he'd look at us in utter disgust. And as well, there was a table over here, and a guy would do this to us. But the thing is, we weren't even making people uncomfortable on purpose. Like, we weren't full on snogging each other's faces off, put it that way. it was literally just affection in general. It wasn't anything that would make you think, oh, you know, they're going too far, I'll get a room. We really weren't. Like, we really weren't. You know, it was just maybe one of us would kiss each other's hand or face. It wasn't anything extreme, but like really. But we'd always get people glare at us. And as well, we'd just be sat together, even if it wasn't on the weekend, we'd be sat out somewhere and a group of teenagers, mainly guys, would be like, oh, they're lesbians. Or something. You know, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just, there is still homophobia, put it that way. You know, I can't remember when I was younger, but there was definitely a lot of homophobia when I was younger, but I can't remember the examples because it was so long ago. But anyway, so the next question, which I said I was going to get to explain what happened in school that was bad, and the continuation of that question. Jade Marie asks, what is the worst thing that happened to you because you weren't straight? Wow. Very, very dark story, so I'm not going to go in full detail because it's really sad. So I would get kind of, this is leading up to the darkest story, but when I did taekwondo at a particular martial arts club, I went to a Christmas party. I was about, what, anywhere between 15 and 17, something like that. Something like that. I was given, well no, someone let me have Bacardi and Coca-Cola together. This was when I used to drink alcohol, whereas now I would never drink alcohol because I just really don't like it. But I drank it, I got really hyper, I kissed a girl in front of a few of our friends, and they then told people in the club, and it went round and spread the rumour, well not the rumour because it was true, because I did kiss this girl. So whenever I went to martial arts, people would be like, oh, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what Steff did? And like, whenever there was any grappling involved, like close self-defence, it was like, oh, I don't want to partner her because Steff's a lesbian and being really horrible to me. And I said to this girl that I kissed, I was like, I am so sorry. And she was like, no, I liked it. I was like, you liked it? She was like, yeah. She was about 2 years younger than me. And she told me she liked it, and I was like, oh. I don't see her or speak to her now just because she doesn't do martial arts anymore, and not too long after that, I left that martial arts club. One of the reasons was homophobia. And I've had homophobia at NCS when I was 16. I went on National Citizen Service. It was the first ever one. It was a pilot version of it. I was in, it was like a summer camp, and for one of the weeks I was in a bunk bed type room situation where there was 3 bunk beds, so 6 people, 6 girls. And the girl next to me was like, oh, I knew I'd be put with a lesbian. And like, I'd leave my phone under my pillow, because if we were doing something like rock climbing and I didn't want the phone to get lost, stolen or damaged or something, I'd leave it in my room. And this girl found my phone and she recorded a video saying, hi, you know, Steff, and then this horrible nickname, you are a lesbian, you are this, you are that, blah blah blah. And they all found it really funny. And army cadets, I was in the army cadet force as well. People were horrible to me there, but I don't really want to go into it, but people were really nasty to me there. And as well, the worst story was, I was in school and my first ever girlfriend went to the same school as me, but she was in the year above. So when she left school, I was in year 11/11th grade and she left. So, you know, this was before they made it compulsory for you to stay in school until 18, so we could leave at 16. But anyway, I was so sick of getting changed in a nearby disabled toilet for PE instead of the girls' locker rooms that one day I just thought, forget it, I'm going to get changed with the rest of the girls. I'm just going to get dressed. And the second I walked in there, like I'd had a really bad day that day, where people were like this to me all day, for days. It was horrible. Anyway, I walked in, and the PE teacher checked we were all right, blah blah blah. Left the room, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, you can't be in here. You're a lesbian. You're gonna look at us. You're gonna say this to us. You're gonna do blah blah blah." When I wasn't going to, like, really, they were literally just flattering themselves, honestly. And I had had enough of it. I completely lost it, and I put it this way, in front of the whole class, I hurt myself really badly, and I've still got the scar on my body to this day, and they had to send me to hospital, and that's all I'm going to say on that. And it was really bad, like really, really, really bad. And then after that, I went back to school, and obviously I'd had like this bandage which was like a suction cup. It was to keep all the blood in and to keep everything, like the butterfly stitches, in place, and it just, yeah, that. Anyway, it was bad. So that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me because of me being gay. And even though I did it myself, I hurt myself, it was because of other people. But anyway, sorry for the darkness. I'm going to go on to another question now. Laura Diane asks, are you talking to anyone right now romantically? Oh well. Wouldn't you like to know? I'm joking. I mean, a girl flirted with me the other day. Like, she was like, "You're cute." I was like, "Thanks." And she was like, "Oh, you're really pretty." She was like flirting with me, and she was like, "Are you single?" I was like, "I am, but I'm not looking." And I explained the situation, and she was like, "Oh, okay, you know, we can still be friends." I was like, "Yeah, of course, we can still be friends, you know." We were chatting, you know, I was giving her a few tips, you know, and I was just like, "Here's some things that I learned, here is how to find a woman, you know, near to you," all of this, and we were chatting. But yeah, girls sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes girls do ask me out and they do flirt with me. But at the moment, I'm not looking for a girlfriend because I really, 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 really need to sort my life out when it comes to getting a career. And I need to focus on myself and just myself 100%. Like, without me being selfish, I'm not saying it in a selfish way. I just can't be in a relationship with someone right now because I need to put all my effort and energy and time into getting a good career. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck. So that's the answer. Neil asks, at what age do you think anything other than the facts of life, sperm, eggs, baby, should be discussed in school years, if at all even, as if in hetero, homo, lesbian, etc, etc? I think that all sexualities should be covered in the curriculum in schools, and I think when it comes to age, the younger they are, the less you should tell them, and the older they are, the more you should tell them. So let's say a 6-year-old, as an example, you would tell them that love is love, and a girl and a boy can be in a relationship, 2 girls can be in a relationship, 2 boys can be in a relationship, it's all love. But obviously, only a boy and a girl, male and female, together can make a baby. Like, naturally. Like, just the 2 of them. And that's basically what I would say for that age. But if they're older, let's say if they are 11, 12, I would explain how babies are made the straight way, as if in how a male and a female can reproduce, and the options for same-sex couples, basically. So how can two women make a baby? How can two men make a baby? You could talk about adoption, fostering, all this technical, sciencey stuff in a little bit of depth, but not fully, because they're young, and build on that the older they get. So, for example, if a, 14 plus year old wanted to know the facts of life in all these different ways, and what same-sex couples do if they want to have a baby, and how it's possible, what steps they can take, all of that, but I would teach them to not discriminate, and that love is love regardless of whether it's a boy or a girl or whoever it is that you're in a relationship with. Make them aware of different gender identities, sexualities, all of that. So explain to them what transgender is. If they're 6, you would just say someone that was born male but feels female and knows they're female in their head, even though they have parts that aren't physically, biologically male or female, etc., then that's called transgender and stuff like that. And then more and more and more in depth as they get older. So like, if transgender people have top surgery, bottom surgery, the different types of bottom surgery, how it's performed. It depends how much they want to know, to be honest. But it's good to educate people on all of it, to be honest. I really do strongly believe that people should learn about it in the curriculum at school. And in Birmingham there are so many, there were so many protests about how people didn't want their children to learn about it. I think they should learn about it, I really do. Now this question is a juicy question. Whenever I go to click it, Instagram puts it down again and I'm like, no. But yeah, this is quite a question, wow. I'm not going to go fully in depth with this, but I am going to answer it pretty well. Laura Diane asks, did your last relationship open your eyes? What have you learnt from the breakup? That's kind of 2 questions, so I'm going to answer them separate. Did my last relationship open my eyes? Yes. What have I learnt from the breakup in response to that? I have learnt that I am a crazy person and I do a lot of hobbies, a lot of sports, I have a lot of interests, and I need to not settle for someone that isn't as crazy as me. Put it that way. So I need someone really interesting, that does a lot of sports, has a lot of hobbies, plays instruments, wants to conquer the world, I don't know, but something amazing. Something that is similar to me, if that makes any sense. Someone that has a lot in common with myself. But yeah, I have also learnt in a relationship that I neglect my own needs and I put the other person first all the time, which yes, is great. It's fine, it's great. But I need to remember that I am also a person that matters and not just the other person. So I need to find that balance, and I need the other person that I'm in a relationship with, when I get into a relationship, to remind me that I'm also a person, and I need them to do quite a bit of stuff for me in general. Like, oh, you need help with this, let me help you with this. Or, oh, you would like a back rub. Or, oh, you'd like a cuddle. You know, just stuff a bit more, just a bit more. And as well, I learned that you can't see someone as a project. Like, you can't be a life fixer for someone. That is what I've learned. For example, my ex Megan needed a lot of stuff. Like, money is and was a big problem in her life. And I know I'm talking very personally, but to be honest, all of this is online anyway, from videos I've shared in the past anyway. But I really want to make this video because I watch those videos now and I just think, I feel stupid. But everyone feels stupid in love because love is blind, but I'm going to get to that. But anyway. Yeah, so for example, when she needed new things, I shouldn't have put so much responsibility on myself. I shouldn't have been like, oh, even though I don't have the money to, I'm going to buy her all these expensive things because she needs it. I just shouldn't have done it. And there was times where I spent too much money on her when I didn't even need to, like Valentine's Day, for example. And I just didn't need to. I need to not be so overly generous. My camera cut off then. But anyway, I need to not put so much pressure on myself to provide for them because it's not just my responsibility, it's their responsibility and other people's responsibility as well, like family members. So there's that. And I've learnt that I just don't need to be as lavish as I need to be. And I realised as well that I have really bad trust issues and I need to work on that before I get into a relationship again. And as well, I feel like I used to spend so much money on Megan because it was like I was a little bit insecure in the sense that I was like trying to keep her interested, trying to keep her to stay with me, even though I didn't need to keep her interested. I didn't need to keep her to stay with me because she wanted to be with me. But my lack of self-esteem, in a way, got in the way of that. So I was like giving her things, like buying her things as if to say, please love me, please stay with me. Making us go on expensive trips, like keeping the relationship interesting, going, please stay with me, here's what I can offer you. And actually, I really didn't need to. And as well, a massive thing I've learnt, I'm hoping that sharing these things will help you lot as well for your relationships and future relationships. But I learnt not to see someone as a project in the sense that, oh, this person doesn't play guitar, but I really want them to play guitar. And someone says to me, oh, well, you just have to teach her then. But if they've got little to no interest in learning, and their life situation makes it so that they can't practice properly because of whatever reason or learn, then you just can't. And how you meet someone is how they are and how they're going to stay. They're not going to change into how you want them to. They're not going to be the person you want them to be if they're not already that, basically. And I also learned, I'm sorry that this is so long, but I need to get this out. I need to tell you guys because this will benefit you as well for your relationships, because I wish I watched this video that someone else filmed that told me these things because it would help me no end. But anyway, there are things about myself that I just cannot change no matter how hard I try. And same as my exes, there was stuff that they couldn't change about them even if they tried. So the stuff with me that I cannot change even if I tried is I don't like fast food. So if someone says to me, oh, can we order a pizza in? Can we order Indian food, Chinese food in? I'll be like, yeah, you can eat it, but I won't. I'll have something home cooked. Because I don't see the point. I'm just like, what's the point in putting that junk food in my body? What's it going to do for me? Nothing. And I can't change that. Someone can't make me eat Chinese food or Indian food or pizza, anything fast food. No one can make me eat it. I can't. I can't. I can't. I think it's disgusting. And as well, I hate alcohol with a passion. I hate drugs with a passion. So I can't change those things. I really can't. And my opinions on it. Oh, as well, I hate smoking. I hate smoking. I really do. And vaping, I just, no. Anyway, and I can't change that about myself. I just can't. And it's stuff like that. And as well, I'm very hyper as a person. I can't change that. What else? I have high standards for myself. I want to succeed a lot. I don't want to ever not succeed a lot. And I can't change that either. Stuff like that. I'm probably missing out a lot of things. But basically, there's stuff like that about myself that I just can't change. So, how you find someone is how they are. They won't change. They really won't. If they say, I'll work on this, you have to really assess it and check that they mean it. If, for example, I say, oh, I am really moody, but I'll work on it, then yeah, it's kind of depends on hormones. But I'm trying to think of a good example. But if there's something that you need to work on, you have to think about whether you actually can or not. You know? It's stuff like that. I literally had to stop the video and then watch what I'd filmed to check, like, to re-jog my memory, because I've completely forgot the point I was getting onto after the long conversation of what I was saying before. But yes, it's that people feel stupid in a relationship, but that is the process of learning. And what I mean is, when you don't know something and when you are learning something, you and everyone feel stupid. They're like, oh, I don't know that, I didn't know that, why didn't I know that? Because you're learning. And in relationships, people beat themselves up and they're like, oh, I feel so stupid for letting this person take advantage of me, or I feel so stupid for not seeing the relationship for what it was. All these things, everyone feels like that. I feel really, well no, I used to say to myself, I feel stupid because I couldn't see the relationship for what it was. I was wearing rose-tinted glasses, as the saying goes, and all of that. Yeah, but if I didn't go through that relationship, or any of my relationships, I wouldn't have learned anything. I wouldn't have learned red flags. I wouldn't have learnt warning signs. I wouldn't have learnt what to do and what not to do, how to do something better, how to not do something in a particular way, you know. So stuff I've learnt from that relationship, all the stuff I've just been telling you about in this video, are going to help me so much in the next relationship, and any relationship I have. It's going to help me so much. So much. You know? But anyway, this video is so long. I'm so sorry. It's such a long-winded video of me just talking. But I got quite a few questions this time. I was really happy. So I'm glad to see my channel growing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have a new channel banner. It was designed by VK Designs 1 on a website called Fiverr, spelled with 2 R's. And it looks really cool. I really like it. So check that out. Like this video. If you have any more questions for me, LGBT related or anything like that, leave them in the comments down below and I'll answer those as well. I won't wait until a separate video. Don't worry. And yeah, happy Pride 2020. If you're watching this in 2020 or in a later year, then hope you enjoyed the video. Happy Pride, wherever you are. And always remember to be kind to people, be loving to people. You never know what kind of a day someone's had or what someone's going through. Just be kind to all kinds. Bye.